Hey everybody, welcome back to the pod. Today we're going to be talking about how to not hide at Disney because we would never ever give you a bad advice and or incriminating tips. So make sure you hit the subscribe button, drop a like, and please do as we say, not as we do.
Opposite.
The opposite. Don't do as we say and don't ever do this. We just wanted to have a little bit of fun. We wanted to explore the what if,
Yeah.
inspired by
What
O.J. Simpson's If I Did
Like,
It.
like the Marvel what ifs, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. These are just parallel universes because
Yeah.
it got us thinking like how in the world logistically does
Mhm.
Disney exit like 40,000 people each and every single day?
Yeah. How do
How,
they
how,
do
how
it?
do they know there's not somebody living in Disneyland?
Yeah. Because it used to be back in the turnstile days that there would be a turnstile in and a turnstile out.
Uh-huh.
But that whole plan goes out the door the moment you have strollers because they don't go through a turnstile. They open a little gate. And then you got the stroller person, and you may have one or two kids in the stroller, and then you have the
Or
adults walking the stroller.
or a stroller that's full of bags.
Right. So the turnstile thing kind of goes out the window. So I'm like, how in the world do you track?
Yeah, and I would assume the turnstile thing is only a general estimate of we think we got the most of the people that came in the morning.
I got most.
Like how
So
accurate could it really be?
what I've heard is that they do start at the back of the park and they do a sweep to the front. Like
Mhm.
I just definitely know they go from back to front. Also, during special ticketed event nights, there are numerous security guards that
Mhm.
are stationed throughout the park watching for wristbands
Yeah.
so that they can gently lead guests that do not have a wristband to exit the park, but everybody else can stay.
Yeah.
But truthfully, I've never been at the backside of the park at midnight when it closes.
I've
Mhm.
never, yeah, I don't think we've ever stayed that long. We never actually stayed till it closes.
I've stayed until it closes, but I
Oh,
was in
okay.
Main Street, and so
Yeah, I've stayed till it's closed, but I usually end up in Tomorrowland towards the end of the night because it's
what I
usually
also
the good place to watch the fireworks and all that.
yeah
Yeah.
what I also do know is that if you're in line for a ride, most of the time they let you finish your ride,
Hmm.
Mhm.
so that could extend you out another hour.
Unless the ride breaks, but
Right.
yeah. But the
Well, I would
okay.
assume that there's a certain point in the line that they're like, okay, everyone from here back, sorry, but I don't know that for a fact. So, if you had this challenge that you had to spend the night in Disneyland, what do you think the best place? Like,
I'll
I,
tell
I
you where it wouldn't be.
mhm.
The island would not be a good
The
idea.
island would not be a good idea because Tom Sawyer Island is the first place I would look.
Yeah, well, it's also one of the first things that's closed down. I'm
Yes.
pretty sure that like an hour before was it the parade and light show on the what's that called? I can't pronounce it.
Fantastic, yeah. That one
Fantastic.
closes like at 5 o'clock in
Yeah,
the
the
afternoon or something like
island the
that.
island closes really early.
So it's probably easy for them to sweep the island, make sure everyone that went onto the island is gone.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Because even in the island, although there's a lot of places to hide, no, because there is like a tiny little spot where you can actually hide. There's like this little tunnel that only small adults or small little kids fit through,
Yeah.
right? I'm assuming they send somebody that through that tunnel
yeah.
because other than that little tunnel, everything else is like pretty. You could any adult could go through it.
So
I
I
would
would
say
assume. Oh, go ahead.
no, if I had to pick though, I think the around the island and outside of the
Yeah.
water, there's a
Yeah.
lot of forestry areas, and I would probably be there along the tracks of the
Yeah,
train.
I would say that or behind the Hungry Bear Cafe on the way to Galaxy's Edge. There's a lot of area in there that I would assume that there's places to hide in, but I would think that you'd have to hide fairly early and then just kind of camp out there until the park was to close.
That's a lot of sacrifice.
I would probably camp out somewhere though along the train track.
Mm.
Which train
How do
track?
you get to the train track without raising without uh, raising attention?
Well, I I think as long as I think you could potentially jump into the train track from like Tomorrowland. It's very accessible.
I'm pretty sure that if anyone stepped onto the train tracks without being in a train, would cause alarms immediately.
Well, I would assume that if you jumped out of the train as you were in the train, you got out. I think they would
Don't
know.
do that. Don't do that.
So if the train's between stations and you kind of go up towards the station and kind of sneak out onto the tracks, I'm pretty sure that there's cameras everywhere.
I think they have cameras everywhere. I think we just don't see them because their cameras flash so well.
Yeah. I think it would be easier to hide inside of a building than try to doing it outside somewhere.
All right, so if we had to pick a building, which building was the one that's most appropriate? Because they're all I mean, I would think Indiana Jones. the one with the
Indiana Jones might be a good one. I was thinking over in Tomorrowland at one of the buildings that's, half gift shop, half, where they extend the queue to if it's, a really long line.
That's not
Star Tours.
That is not a bad idea because at the exit of Space Mountain, there's that whole Michael Jackson experience that's no longer the Michael Jackson experience.
Yeah.
You might be able to go in that area.
Yeah, if you can go in that area, I'm sure all entrances or exits are probably locked. But I bet you can like hide around a corner near one of the exits to the old Michael Jackson.
Yeah. Now that you bring that up though, when we were in Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railroad, they made us exit the ride, but they basically told us to do an about face and walk out. And one of the things that I found interesting was that we just simply weren't moving. So I went through an emergency exit, and you're just in the back lot. So exiting into the back lot would probably be a little bit simpler.
You think that's
it would be, but does that count as being overnight in Disney? If you're
I mean, I think if you're in the back lot, you can probably get yourself into other areas of the park that you can then camp out in.
Yeah. So does getting a cast member ID disqualify you for this challenge?
I think so.
If you have an ID, you could probably get away with a lot more than if you didn't have an
ID. Yeah.
You need to get somebody fired.
Yeah.
You know where would be really interesting too? In between Star Tours on the ride itself. On that platform. Because it's just a little platform where you get onto the vehicle.
Yeah, before or after you get on the vehicle.
But you walk a platform to get onto the vehicle and you walk a platform to get off the vehicle. And I think on the way out, like if you just hopped on over, there's like a gap there. I don't know how deep of a gap, but that would be an interesting place.
I'm not sure we should, so, it's I don't want to get anybody in trouble, especially us, for even talking about this, but even suggesting to jump into the mechanics of a ride vehicle, that disqualifies.
Well, I'm just trying to think, because short of hiding inside of a trash can, I really can't.
Has there ever been any cases where people have actually?
Well, that's kind of what inspired this episode, right? Because again, they've got 40,000 people. You would think that on a nightly basis, somebody's trying it.
Someone's trying. I'm sure the attempts must happen often. Maybe not every night, but
I just can't think of logistically, maybe in a trash can.
So one of these big YouTube stars that you probably follow, but I don't, had these challenges of staying overnight in various different big box stores. Like they tried to stay overnight in a Costco by basically creating themselves a little fort and hiding behind a bunch of stuff. And it seemed to be like a routine, like they were calling Mr. Beast or something, and they were giving these challenge. Oh, stay overnight in a Home Depot. And I kind of thought this was, we had the Disneyland one kind of inspired from those. So if you could walk into one of the fast food areas or any of the food service areas and hide behind some supplies, do you think that is more that's safer than jumping into the mechanics of a ride vehicle?
You know what? So I'm looking at Reddit, and apparently this is not the only question. We're not the first ones to have this question. But if I had to do it, right? If I had to pull an OJ on this one, and if I did it, the Confessions of a Killer, I would pose as a maintenance worker because the maintenance crews is there the whole night.
Yeah, that's true. And if you avoid other maintenance people, you may never be questioned. Yeah, that's like if you walk into any large facility with a clipboard and a hard hat, no one asks what you're doing there.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Because even if you want to stay, somebody's gonna catch you. Because Disney, even though it's closed, there's always people in it.
In it, yeah.
Because in the night they're doing everything. They're doing maintenance, they're cleaning,
All
they're
the
doing
cleaning and stuff. So yeah, if you then there's enough people on the cleaning crew, I'm sure you could, disguise yourself as a janitor and just blend in, and as long as you're not walking up to other janitors and, hey Phil, how's it going? No one's going to call you out on it. As long as you're that other janitor off in the distance and it's dark out, they can't really see.
But then the bigger question is, like, other than being dumb, like, why would you want to be at the park when the park's dead?
Yeah, it's just like a bragging rights.
I stayed overnight at the park.
My curiosity, like, for me, I'm very curious how they do landscaping. Like how do they do the landscape at night?
They have to. I mean, they're not doing it during the day.
Yeah. Have you ever tried doing landscaping at night? It's hard.
Well, assuming that they got all the lights on and stuff, so maybe Disneyland After Dark isn't as dark as we're imagining it.
That'd be cool, like an aerial view of it. That would be cool.
But they do turn the park off. I've seen it at night. Like,
yeah,
I was at the West End for one of the Atlassian conferences last year, and like around 11:30, especially DCA because they closed earlier, it goes black. Like, they turn off the lights. And so I thought that was interesting. Like,
they apparently aren't doing a lot of outdoor maintenance. Otherwise, some lights would be on.
Yeah, but I just thought it was funny. Like, I would have assumed that the park state lights were on the whole day, but no, they shut off like all the ambient lighting and stuff. It goes very dark.
That's when the cats come out.
Yeah.
I think so. So, Sean, I know this is our Disney pod, but Knott's Berry Farm usually has the opposite effect. So Knott's Berry Farm usually has how do you keep people out because people are trying to jump over the fence. They have a fence that's very scalable that you can basically walk into the park.
Yeah.
And
when we were there, it didn't really seem like it was like, all locked in like Disneyland is, where the security is so tight that.
So what do you think the punishment is worse for? Breaking into or sneaking into Disneyland, or trying to stay overnight at Disneyland? I'm assuming they both yield you lifetime bans, but I wonder which one lands you in jail.
I bet you it's probably 100% lifetime ban if you try to stay overnight in Disneyland. Trying to sneak in, probably a slap on the wrist, but it depends. How far in did they catch you? If you're off the sidewalk looking at the fence and they catch you, then that's more of a what are you doing? Scaling a fence, yeah, that's probably a ban.
I have a neighbor who
probably not lifetime.
When we were 16 or 17 years old, he tried to get in with the children ticket to save the $10. The children tickets for 8 years or under, or 9 years and under. I'm like, dude, what are you even thinking?
Mustache and everything.
And that was probably a slap on the wrist, right? It was like,
no, they looked at him and was like, really, dude? Like, you got to buy the full ticket.
So there's no penalty other than it didn't work.
Yeah. But it's a very curious thing. Like, I wonder how many people are actually successful. I would assume that Disney's got all kinds of sensors and cameras and trained personnel for this.
Now, do you think that they have like a wall of shame backstage somewhere of all the people that they caught, or at least the most hilarious ones? We caught this guy hiding under a boat in Pirates or something.
I would think so.
I would hope so. That'd be cool.
So an interesting thing that when I put into Google, like, where would you hide? I think hiding is a very strong word, because hiding can have positive impact, like, doing something malicious, like trying to stay overnight. But there's also hide from the crowds during the day because of, you're just Fatigued.
Yeah, if you just want to, be out of the traffic.
Yeah.
I get
So when we look at it from that side, the Tropical Hideaway is a lush dining area in Adventureland that tends to not be as populated.
Well, tropical. Where's that one at?
Between the Jungle Cruise and the Tiki Room.
Yeah, there's a little
quiet-
restaurant area back there. It's outdoor seating.
Oh, the one where they sell the little.
all the new pineapple stuff. Yeah.
Oh,
Apparently that part is not as well
Yeah,
trafficked.
that reminds me of the Pinocchio restaurant in Disney World in the Magic Kingdom. There's a little upstairs section that only has seating for like 4 tables that no one knows about. And so when I go there, and if I'm eating in that area of the park, I'll go up there and see if there's a place. And often there's only like 1 or 2 other families up there, and you get a great view. But it's a nice little hideaway because very few people know it's up there.
There's apparently the Court of Angels, a peaceful courtyard tucked away in New Orleans Square. I've never seen it.
I've never seen that one.
I have seen the Silly Swings deck. So, and outside of the orange thing, there's a nice little deck area that overlooks the World of Color, and like there's very few people there.
Yeah.
Why you cannot hide overnight? 24/7 operations. The park never truly shuts down. Custodial, maintenance, and landscaping teams work through the night. Security sweep. Cast members conduct systematic sweeps on every land, store, and attraction. And advanced surveillance. The park is equipped with high-tech cameras, motion sensors, and even perimeter alarms. Consequences. If you get caught, you face a lifetime ban from all Disney properties. Ooh.
Now, how well do they enforce that? If
That's
I
what I've always
wanted,
wondered. How do you get lifetime ban at Disney?
Mm.
Like, I get the logistics that they're like, okay, you're lifetime ban, but how do you enforce that?
how do you enforce that? Yeah. So like when you're buying tickets, you can always change your name.
Yeah, but you don't know unless you're buying an annual pass. You don't really need to put your name.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and names are generic enough that there's always going to be another Sean Doyle out there. And because one Sean Doyle breaks the rules doesn't mean everyone's going to get a lifetime ban.
And then there's doppelgangers too. So like, I had a friend. I had a friend in high school. What was his dad's name? I think his dad's whatever his dad's name was. It was on the FBI's like no-fly list.
Oh yeah.
And he got flagged. Every time he would fly, he'd get flagged and get taken to a special room until he had to like basically confess and tell him it's not me. This happens every time.
Yeah, it's my dad. It's not me. Yeah.
No. But like his dad just had the same name as a FBI's most wanted guy.
Oh, yeah.
And so every time he flew, he had to like explain to them, it's not me.
So like, it's not like Disney's collecting Social Security numbers. So at best, they're it's names and addresses, and if you move, how are they saying it?
Yeah, I just don't get the.
And even if they have your picture, you can change your hairstyle.
I mean, Mr. Beast goes in a hat and glasses, anyways, right? Like celebrities are coming in with you can't even recognize them.
Yeah. They do have facial recognition now at the parks, right? Well, they've got the fingerprint or thumbprint when you enter the parks.
In Disney World, they do. In California, they don't have thumbprints, but they do have the facial recognition. But it's horrible. It doesn't work very well. They are saying historical attempts have ended in tragedy, such as 1973, an incident where a teenager drowned while trying to swim from Tom Sawyer Island.
Oh, really? That's not that far. So he's just not a good swimmer.
The only legitimate way to stay in the park overnight is by winning a stay at the Disneyland Dream Suite above New Orleans Square.
Really? How do we apply?
Yeah, I knew you could do that. And then Disney World has the Cinderella's bedroom or little apartment in the castle.
Oh, that's true. That castle is a full castle. This one's not.
This is fun. This is like
actually, is that a good place to hide?
In the castle?
In Sleeping Beauty's little walkthrough, where you kind of walk through and I don't think I've done it the last 2 times I've been there, but
go with the snorkel and like jump over the bridge and just
No, don't do any of that. We are not telling people to do that.
So I'm reading this here.
So that's terrible that someone passed away trying to swim from Tom Sawyer's Island.
1973. Oh boy, we're going to Expedia. What are you doing? Ads,
You
ads.
clicked
Here we
on
go.
something else.
I'm trying to zoom in here. The hidden stories of fans who dare to sneak into Disneyland overnight. It's getting hit
Well,
with all
how
these
many
ads.
do they have?
One notable alleged example occurred in the early days of Disneyland's operation in the 1950s. A group of teenagers reportedly managed to evade the vigilant eyes of the park security. And this is also true, Sean. Like everything we're saying is today, but I'm assuming prior to like 1995,
Oh yeah,
maybe most of our things wouldn't have applied.
and I'm
They
sure they
roamed the
didn't
streets of the
have.
park, exploring
Well,
treasures in the cloak of darkness.
yeah, I'm sure they didn't have cameras, as early as 1990, maybe, but not like today.
Definitely not like today. I'm not seeing anything interesting here.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm sure they have high. So if they have really high technology to be able to find people who hide in the park, how come their technology for security entering the park and their technology for
Yeah.
actually secret area are so bad?
Dude, if I had one complaint about Disneyland, is their damn security.
The last time I was there, I had a run in with a gruff security guard.
Must have been the same one you did.
I like to taunt them. I like to mess with them because I see that their system is so inefficient. I like to just mess with them.
It's not their fault.
It is. It is their fault because
Well,
Do
it's
they
the
get
security
inside?
company's fault, but the individual security guards just following the rules. And if there's any job that just follows the rule, you hope it's security.
Yeah, yeah.
well, let me tell you my first problem with Disney security.
Okay.
It's definitely tangenting a little bit, but the biggest nastiest problem with Disney security is that Anaheim Police Department has a physical on-site presence in two very distinct locations. Um, they have a physical police car in the toy store in the Making Friends parking lot,
Okay.
visible to the public, and they have a Anaheim Police Department like ATV, all-purpose vehicle parked as you're coming down the escalators to go through security. And then you have two armed Anaheim Police Department officers in Anaheim Police dress code there on the property. And I think if Walt was alive, like that wouldn't be happening. I don't mind armed security guards and I don't mind Anaheim Police Department being there, but like they should at least have like the car like wrapped in a character of sorts.
Yeah. I don't know if I agree with that, but I would
the whole
struggle
purpose-
with that.
The whole purpose of Disneyland in 1955 was that when you walked into the park, you forgot there was an outside world. Kind of hard to forget that there's an outside world when you have two armed Anaheim Police Department armed uniform guys standing there.
Hmm.
You're not supposed to see
But
them.
is that the beginning of the park? Is that just a
That
structure?
is the beginning. The magic starts the moment you get into the structure.
Okay. So
Mm.
are they actually inside the structure or are they outside the structure?
They're outside the structure, but so as you come out of the structure and you're going through security, they're just hanging out there.
Hmm.
I just think that they should play the part. They should be in character.
Well, if they need to be in character, all the security people should be in character. That
They are in
checking
character,
back.
right? All the security people are wearing a Disney uniform.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think it looks out of place that you have an Anaheim Police Department uniform there.
So you're by in character, you're not talking about like wearing a goofy costume.
Not necessarily,
That's what I
but
was thinking.
they
is
don't
like,
look like they belong at Disneyland. Like they look out of place.
so
Right?
you
They're
just
clearly
want them to have
city-
a Disney name tag. And,
yeah,
and
they're
maybe
clearly a city employee in an area that they don't belong.
But I think they're there because one of the parking structure belongs to the city, right?
The parking structure does belong
well,
to the city.
and
They
I
live
also
there.
like that, seeing them, possibly deters people from causing problems.
Yeah, but seeing the other security guards deters people from doing problems.
Mm.
They shouldn't be there like
Right.
that.
But-
Like I don't
but
mind them
so-
being there. I just don't think that they should look like their Anaheim Police
Yeah.
Department.
So my beef with the security is definitely not to the level of your beef with the police, but I do think that they should, they definitely should have a Disney attitude while you're walking through there. They should be instructed to be, follow the rules, be stern, but still try to stay, try not to ruin people's magic. And I feel that I had my magic ruined once going in the park, because this woman just had the worst attitude, and she was mean and rude, and not just to me but other people in line. And it's like you're destroying the mood going into the park. All these people are coming in. It was early. It was rope drop time. It was the day that it rained. That you were meeting up with me, and I was going through security, and I just went to the one with the shortest line, and it seemed to annoy the woman that I didn't wait in line behind whoever I was supposed to be behind. And there's no rule at the security gate. You should go to the shortest line available to just get through security. And I didn't have anything except for my vest, and I handed her my vest, because I had things in the pocket, and she got all upset that I handed her my vest. But that was like the third or fourth day I went to Disney, and I was doing that each time. And the fourth day I get called out. Don't just hand me your vest.
Should have asked her where now. I went to City Hall over the summer and filed a number of complaints.
Oh no. What did you complain about?
Well, I get yelled at.
We're way off the topic of where to hide in Disneyland.
I know. Well, we're gonna call it like how not to get in trouble at Disneyland. But so I'm going through security, and I went. What were we doing? So I was instructed by the security guard to stand next to my family, and I gave them my phone and stuff. And then the guy's like, "You can go through the."
Yeah, because we were together.
Yeah, we're all together. So I gave him my phones and my wallet, and then
I stayed behind because
she had a backpack.
Because I had a backpack, so Alice went ahead because usually I don't like letting the kids go ahead by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And the security's like, "Get back in line." I'm like, "Get back in line." The guy over there told me to go through, and so I'm like, "You two need to talk to each other better." Like I was yelling at them. But the security guard like yelled at me, thinking like I was cutting the line or something. I'm like, "What's your problem?" So I took his name and badge and I took it straight to City Hall. I'm like, "You are not going to ruin my Disney magic." So I think that if a cast member is ruining your Disney magic, you should definitely go to City Hall and file a complaint.
I guess you should, but that's kind of like being a Karen.
Yeah, but that would be like if and when I get my Disneyland pass, I'm just gonna go and call out all the things that ruin Disney magic and just file complaints.
Yeah. You are?
Yes.
I am not getting my pass with Alex.
Well, that's definitely a way to get your picture in the backstage.
I wonder if there's an award for who files the most amount of complaints.
The Karen of the year.
Well, is there an award for that?
I don't know.
But I'm with Sean on this one though. Like Disney has this. If you wanted to be harassed, you'd go to Knott's.
No, well, Knott's treats you very nice.
Yeah, Knott's security, Sean. Like it's next gen. Like you walk through and only if you have like a
big backpack.
I don't remember security at all.
Exactly.
I was over there that one time. It was a non-issue. I don't remember. I don't even remember what it looked like because
it's not unless you have a backpack. Unless you have a big backpack and
or a stroller.
Or a stroller, you don't. If you're just walking in with like a little bag or something.
Yeah, like a bag, like a tiny. Like,
you'll go right through.
Yeah, I'm sure I recognize it the next time I go through, but I don't really have any memory of security.
What I will tell you though, Knott's security, the dumbest part they do is that they make you take your things out of your backpack, and then for whatever dumb reason, they swing the backpack through the metal detector, and they proceed to swing it. And so you take things out, you swing it, you take things out, you swing it, you take things out, and you're sitting there for 5 minutes taking things out and swinging until
why don't you take everything out to begin with, Alex? Why are you leaving things in this bag?
Why do you have to pass the damn bag? Like, why do you have an employee there checking through the bag only to tell you, okay, now swing it through the metal detector? Like, what were you doing?
Yeah, why weren't you thorough enough to
find why were you thorough enough
the knife that I have sewn into the inside of the backpack?
But yeah, and then to piss Disney in security, I take my travel backpack that has 150 compartments because Disney goes through 150 compartments. So I just like to piss them off and go, okay, you want to scan my backpack? You're gonna have fun. Grab a cup of coffee.
Yeah, well, I thought I was, being efficient and with
Using your vest.
yeah, using my I got a fly fishing vest that has 1,000,000 pockets, and I've got a battery charger in there, and tissues and snacks and stuff, and I just take the fishing vest off, put it in the basket, and let them go through it. If they really want to, they can pop open the
It's
zipper.
no different than a backpack. It's just a different shape.
Or a
It's
purse.
just a wearable backpack, yeah. And
Mhm.
No one's ever had problems with it in Disney World or Disneyland until that very last time I was through Disneyland. I basically got this look like, "What the hell are you doing?" And she was already being rude to the person in front of me. I should have just switched lines. But then that happened. I try not to let it ruin my day, but I still remember it. But it's just a terrible way to start off a day at Disneyland, especially if I go to Disneyland more than the average person, not as much as you guys. But if this was like a lifetime, vacation with little kids and everything, that's not the mood you want to be in when you start the day, is to have security piss you off.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
I know. So I don't know. So definitely don't sneak into the park or try to hide out if you really don't want to have security in your back.
Yeah, that's not going to happen, or it's not going to end well. Now, if you're live streaming from the event, apparently, or from the park, apparently there's people that look for live streamers and then call them squatting or swatting things on them. Which
that's another thing that I just don't understand at all. Like, if I'm I don't do this for a living, but if I worked at the police department, I get it. See something, say something, right? But hey, what's your name and number and like some information about you? Because
when people call in a swatting thing, find out or get some information to make it credible. You just can't
like,
call
text
them a
us a
random
picture
bomb.
here or something, because like you can't just say bomb threat and like, okay, it's a credible source. Let's rain hell on Disney.
Yeah.
Then the other part that I don't get is like, how the heck do you find the streamer in this whole thing?
Wait. But the squad actually go in to Disney?
The police department goes in, but I mean, in this particular case that I saw was just Disney employees. But what I heard about this streamer, though, to be very transparent, is that the streamer was causing trouble beforehand.
Oh,
so
okay.
They were already like a person of interest until once it escalated.
Okay.
So
the clip that I saw, they were in some gift shop, and there was a number of actual cops there, plus the Disney employee, and the Disney employee was the one that was looking more upset than the cops.
Yeah, but I think Disney just needs to better training and policies here, because this, I would assume, is only going to continue. And there's numerous streamers that are in there, but it's just I think both Anaheim Police Department and Disney need to have better policies for the swatting.
I know that they're trying to annoy the streamers, but this is annoying everyone at Disney. You'd think that.
Wait, how though? Like, how in the world do you get to a bomb threat with all the freaking security we just complained about? Like,
exactly.
How do you sneak anything in there?
Yeah, I don't think it's credible. I think that's
right. So I don't understand how Disney's overreacting with this. Like, you have one of the most sophisticated security checks in all theme parks, and yet somebody still managed to get a bomb through your thing.
Yeah, or a gun or whatever they're
whatever it is, they still manage to get through it.
Yeah.
And then because they have the dogs, they have the check, and they have the metal detectors. I'm like, how are you guys still letting these, like, that's a bigger problem you got to address at the front end. This is almost like blaming Jira.
Well, yeah. So like walk through one of these swatting things. So someone sees someone live streaming from inside Disneyland, and so they call the cops, and then the cops for some reason do a Blues Brothers type thing and have 30 cars all running down into Disneyland at the same time. Disneyland actually lets them in. Disneyland should question the cops. Well, one, do you have a warrant? This is private property. We don't have to let you in. What is your credible threat? What's the proof of that? because they're
And
not
you have
letting.
more than one thread. Like I would
Yeah.
assume multiple people. Like you can't go off of somebody just randomly calling it in. And then again, the part that still gets me was like, how the heck do you
Well,
pinpoint the streamer?
Down to think through it from the cops' point of view. How many people would know of a bomb? Just because only one person called in the threat. Well, how many buddies did this bomb maker have that could possibly call in the threat? If all of a sudden 30 people call in a bomb threat, I would question that more than one person, because who makes a bomb in front of 30 people and then says, "Hey, I'm going to go to Disneyland." Not very smart bombers, anyway. But yeah,
Disney's
you would think that
traumatized.
Disney has enough security people that Disney could say, "Okay, explain to us the threat, and we'll go take care of it undercover, and
Right.
and discreetly escort these people out to be questioned, instead of letting a dozen cops into the park and then cordoning off a whole section that now the guests can't go into because some streamer has to be questioned." And why is it only the streamers? Couldn't you just? Why do you have to have the streamer involved to annoy Disney with a bomb threat?
I don't get it either. I think they got to fix their policy there. But anyways, folks, hopefully this episode was enjoyable.
It was random.
None of this is legal advice, and please don't do as we say. We were just this was
we're not saying to do any of this anyway.
We're not saying any of that.
Yeah, this was just a what if hypothetical scenarios in an imaginary world full of imagination.
I would just love to see how they do their landscaping in the night.
They bring flash.
Like,
the headlights.
So, Lena, you would really love the behind the scenes tour in Disney World, where they bring you to the landscaping place, and you get to see all the different trees and their different stages. And
Sean's going to take us next.
Yeah, I'll take you next on and this fall.
Yeah, hit the subscribe button, drop a like. Y'all know what to do. Add some comments down below, and we'll see you next week's episode. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.